You know, I there's just no words anymore, dude. There's just no words. You know. The more I come back and watch every damn week, you know, I just find myself getting more disgusted with this team than I already was from the last game. It's bad enough you had a bye and you come out like this performance. The defense, they played their worst game of the season. If not, they were probably the worst thing about this game. You know, oh, everybody's making a big deal about Mitchell Trubisky coming back and, everybody's happy and stuff like that, but he didn't overall next to nothing. He didn't change much of anything for the majority of the part, other than really some parts in the first half. He was honestly the same exact Mitch we saw in the last 40 plus starts. Whatever. You know, gets most of his freaking stats wise in garbage time. You know, there was a part in this game, honestly, this game, listen, um, hold on for a second. Okay, sorry for that, sorry for that. Yeah, I was saying, if everybody remember that one Chicago Bear game, that one Bears game, like 6 years ago when Mark Trestman was still the coach, and we lost like by the score of like 55-14, and that clearly showed that there is much needed change that needed to happen. Well, this I wouldn't say felt similar, but it had honestly the same makings of it. The Bears, who suck, freaking roll up into Green Bay and put on another pathetic effort in prime time. They didn't get beat as badly as they did in that game, but you can honestly say that this game was just worse. Listen, let me just talk about the phases. First things first. The Bears defense was trash this game. Arguably, if not their worst game of the season. Like, these guys, for a majority in the first half, could not get a stop against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Could not make a stop. They just did whatever they wanted, and they did everything. And yeah, Chuck Pagano, for some stupid reason, having all these defensive play calls that just were bad. One of the first bad of many's in this game. I'm not going to go through all of them, but one of the first bads of Chuck Pagano's little play calling style was when the Packers get in the red zone for their first touchdown. We had a three-man rush, and eventually Aaron Rodgers has enough time to find Davante Adams essentially wide open for the touchdown. One, I don't know what was up with the defensive linemen because they looked like the defensive linemen just flat out quit. And then two, why are we rushing three against a predominantly good quarterback who will pick you apart if you give him time to throw the ball? Wonderful. Another thing is, the scheme they had for the Bears, they made it have it where like you had freaking Buster Screen and Danny Trevathan guarding freaking Davante Adams. What? Well, what else happened? Oh, Eddie Jackson made a bad play. A very bad play. He got easily beat deep by a tight end. I forgot the Packers tight end name. He got beat deep so bad. I was like, he's clearly giving up. They showed what he looked like on the sidelines on one part of the game. The dude looks flat out dejected. He looked like he's done. He looks like he wants to be over with the season. I don't blame him personally, but dude, you got to play better. You can't get burnt like that. Excuse me. The Bears defense missing fucking tackles after tackles after tackles after tackles. I could swear, I could freaking tell you how many times, the Bears should have had tackles for losses, but then guess what? They just broke them. One of the last plays where the Packers scored their last touchdown in the game to go to have 41 points, that was probably the most pathetic, piss-poor attitude of tackling I've ever seen in my damn life. It was just freaking garbage. Buster Screen, I think his contract's up after this year. Don't bring him back. Please don't. Because this dude actively gets picked on. You would think Jalen Johnson, a rookie, would get picked on. But no. Buster Skrine is honestly one of the weak links of this defense. Everybody just picks on him. All you gotta do is put the best receiver in a slot position, or the best receiver on the team in the slot position, and just have him do work on Buster Skrine. He cannot stop nobody. I'm shocked that the Bears have not told this guy to just sit him and try somebody else at the slot corner, because this dude flat out sucks. That's all I gotta say about the damn defense. The defense was honestly pathetic tonight. Pathetic. They couldn't get a stop to save their life. And maybe if they had gotten a few stops, maybe since the offense was actually moving the ball worth a damn in the first half, they might have actually made the game closer than what it should have been if the defense got stops. I'm not led to believe this is supposed to be a good, talented, great defense, as most Bear fans say, and then they can't get a dang stop against Aaron Rodgers. You can't even at least get one? They got, I believe, their first stop in the second half. Just one! I'm just asking for one! And they couldn't even get one in the first half against Aaron Rodgers. The Packers had whatever they wanted in the first half against this Bears defense. We keep saying that this Bears defense is Bears fans. We keep saying this Bears defense is good. It's really good and stuff like that. Ninja, this defense. You can say it's an overrated defense. It's a solid defense. It's a solid NFL defense. They're still a Super Bowl caliber defense if they get enthusiastic to play and they know what the hell they're doing. And Chuck Pagano actually play calls good. But 9 out of 10 times, they're just a solid defense. I wouldn't say average. They're just a solid NFL defense. The offense, it looked like it was going to be, starting off really freaking good. You had David Montgomery go off for a 75-yard rush. It was like, oh, dang. That means it seems like we really missed him. Fun fact, I think David Montgomery rushed over for 100 yards. I think this is honestly his first game he rushed over 100 yards. I don't know if there's any other game because let me be honest. The Bears O-line has been bad for the last 2 years. I don't even think he's had a 100-yard rushing game. So I think this is his first one. Too bad it's in a losing effort. Yeah, so anyways, we get the 75-yard run. Trubisky has 2 pretty good balls on Cole Kmet and Allen Robinson. Cole Kmet had an easy touchdown. He dropped it. We've been actively asking this guy to get more targets. And Trubisky, okay, he's here. He answers our call. He gets targets. He gives him a chance to go catch the ball for a touchdown. And Cole Kmet doesn't hold on to the ball. I'm sorry. I love Cole Kmet. I've been actively saying that the dude needs to get more targets his way. And definitely needs to get more playing time. But listen, if Cole Kmet is going to drop passes like that are pretty simple and pretty easy to catch, then I can see why the Bears have yet to freaking play him as much as they did. So the dude needs to start catching balls, and maybe he'll get more targets. Allen Robinson. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. He should have had 3 touchdowns, to be honest. Especially when Mitchell Trubisky gives him a pretty fairly good ball to come down with. This dude's asking for a big contract from the Bears. But the thing is this. This has been the whole thing about Allen Robinson's season this year. In the past 2 seasons when it didn't really matter and he didn't need to get paid, he was making these crazy acrobatic catches, these tough catches and stuff like this. This season, he's getting out-rebounded and getting out-balled out by these DBs just taking the ball out of his hands or just making deflections on the pass when he has the ball in his hands. How are we led to believe you need to get paid by the Bears and you can't come down with these plays or these catch balls to end up being touchdowns? We can't pay you wide receiver 1 money if you ain't gonna do that. I know I've been kind of backtracking on that, but listen, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tapped out with this Bears team. I am done. Allen Robinson, you want that money? You need to show me why you're worth that money. You need to come down and make these catches and stop letting these DBs rip the damn ball out of your hands. It's happened on multiple occasions this season. Again, Mitchell Trubisky, he played good for a half. He threw a dumb, really freaking double coverage pick. I like the aggressiveness, but don't do that. Don't be stupid and aggressive at the same time. He fumbles the ball even though the refs missed a face mask call. Regardless, he threw another pick late in the second half that was triple covered. Listen, I expected what I expected out of Mitchell Trubisky. It was same old Mitchell Trubisky. He'll shock you, actually played pretty decent for maybe about a half or a quarter, and then he'll just sting up the joint the remaining rest of the game. Mitchell Trubisky didn't really. I'll say this: Mitchell Trubisky in the offense made the offense at least move the ball better than Nick Foles did. It wasn't as stagnant as the last couple of weeks that Nick Foles in the helm. But okay, fine. He played decent, or basically average, but it didn't really do much enough to win, right? So, Bear fans, you got what you wanted. The same old Trubisky you saw from the last 2 seasons and the first 3 games of this season. Hey. Well, but don't worry. He's playing the team he always loves to play against, the Detroit Lions. Whatever. The offensive line played particularly actually decent. It was much better than, what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Mostly because you can attribute to the fact that they actually had Sam Mustipher at the center and they just moved Cody Whitehair to the guard position. Still, the offensive line at a few parts in this game was still bad. So, whatever. The offensive line, even though it looked solid, it was still pretty bad. Listen, I think that's all I can say. The thing I'm going to close on this statement is this. Because I'm sick and tired of this fucking team, bro. Sick and tired. So all the Bear fans that had somehow playoff hopes, please join the side of the Bears suck and you need to cope with it. Just go on. Because guess what? The Bears dropped to 5-6 and now have lost 5 games in a row. And counting. Because next week against Detroit, they're going to lose 6 games in a row. They're not winning another game this season. Best believe it. They're not beating Detroit next week. The Bears, I don't care what happens. This definitely needs to happen. Like, either now, I need to be getting an alert to my freaking phone. Now or tomorrow that Matt Nagy has been fired and Ryan Pace has been relieved of his duties. Where does that headline sound familiar? Oh wait, the Detroit Lions, your NFC North rivals, did the same exact thing yesterday. The Detroit Lions, they're man enough to admit, okay, enough's enough. Let's cut these guys loose and try to restart over again. The Bears need to take notes and do the same. Fire Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. Do it either tonight or tomorrow. That needs to happen now. I'm sick and tired of this. Ryan Pace has handed out bad contracts to players who have failed to show up, has terrible draft picks, and essentially screwed up our future. And Matt Nagy, let's be honest, whatever. Matt Nagy, he may be a good leader of men and stuff like that. He may be a decent regular head coach. But listen, he failed to do much of anything. He's regressed beyond belief. This team, honestly, has not done nothing. They're bottom last in offensive category, even though he's a so-called offensive guru. So cut him loose and get a new head coach and a new GM. I said it a few weeks ago. If it was me, I have hired Louis Riddick as a GM, and I would try to at least see if Eric Bieniemy would work out. Maybe you go after a Joe Brady from Carolina or some other offensive-minded head coach who can try to get this offense on hold and actually make it work into something, turning it into a 20th century offense. Or 21st century offense. Something not stuck in the 1920s. But then that also starts with the GM and trying to get the right freaking talent around the offense to actually be productive. I've just said it many times, just blow it all up. Rebuild, restart from anew. Get rid of these defensive players, get some draft picks for them, and restart all over again. Go into complete rebuilding phase and rebuild this entire team from the ground up. People will call me crazy, but I only think that's the only thing this Bears team can do. Because if they want to stick with this aging defense and trying to fix this rebuilding offense, it's going to be too late. By the time, if there's in some world you do get the offense fixed, your defense will be bad. Because the aging veterans on that defense will not have what they used to have back, 3 years ago. If that were to happen. Listen, this team honestly, just gets on my last damn nerves. They really do know how to make me unhappy. I had a particularly good birthday week or weekend other than this team, but this Bears team stinks. There needs to be changes. Guys need to be fired. And listen, unless the McCaskies actually want to do something worth a damn to actually go out there and win games for this team, then listen. Well, whatever. I'm done with this team. I've already been tapped out with this team. I'm just going to come back and do my job as the Chicago Bears, recapper for fans who are obviously just as frustrated as me. But listen, I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to hang in there. For the majority of the part, I didn't want to watch the game anymore. I just wanted to freaking go back up to my room and go back to playing PlayStation 5. But knowing me, I got to stay through the entire crap of that game. But I got through it. Another waste of people's time. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts. Should Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, will Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace be fired either tonight or tomorrow? I highly doubt it. Whatever. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Chicago Bears content. Hit that notification bell if you are subscribed to the channel to make sure you get whatever content I upload to the channel to your inboxes. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good night. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.